Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Well, we had to finally go ahead and rebuild the engine and legacy completely because we had a problem with some bad parts. We put new cam, new lifters, rebuilt the heads, new timing, all that stuff, put it in there, and it lasted about 3 days. See how that lifter is a little bit lower than it should be? Yeah, that's not usually a good sign. So we decided, well, we're going to take that engine out. We'll go ahead and use the 4-bolt that we had, which only had 500 miles on it. And I'm glad I decided to open it up because we found this crap. 500 miles and the cylinders were chewed. The pistons were just beat up. The engine probably would have ran for a little while, but we don't know how long. It was running when we pulled it, but you can tell by the damage it's just not in good shape. So hooray, we go back to the 2-bolt block. So here we go. We got the 2-bolt back on the on a stand and stripping it down. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Of course, right now you see me kind of cleaning up the lifter bores and stuff, and yeah, I kind of felt a little dirty doing this, but as you can tell by the look on my face. But that's why. I mean, look at how wonderful that lifter is. Apparently there's been a bad problem with some of these lifters coming over here. And, well, I just happened to get a bad one, and it chewed up the cam, it chewed up the lifters. Obviously, I mean, one of them's a little sloped and missing a fair amount. Of course, now I'm prepping the block. It's been repainted. You didn't think I was going to leave it in there dirty, did you? Right here, just showing how far it's been taken down. The cam bearings aren't out yet or nothing, but they will be here shortly. All the mating surfaces are cleaned up real good. The deck is nicely cleaned up and ready to go and checked, and all the thread holes have been rechased. Every single one of them in the block. You know, you gotta make sure those are clean. And here's something I haven't done in quite some time. This was well, it's been, I couldn't tell you how many years since I've used what we call a dingle ball hone. But this block was actually in great shape. The cylinder bores were still round for once, which is surprising. And they were not scored heavily. They were in really good shape, so there was no need to, you know, take it and have it bored and then honed. So break out the old dingle ball and off you go. And like I said, it's been so long that I was actually kind of nervous to use it because I wasn't for certain I was going to remember, you know, how to keep, what speed I needed to be at, and you know, how to get that nice crosshatch. But it turned out absolutely perfect, as you'll see here in a second. Yeah, see, it turned out absolutely beautiful. The cylinders were absolutely perfect, and you know, the block was in really good shape. So we were good. We're about ready to start putting it together. And yes, the pistons were dipped and cleaned, the rods were checked, and everything else like that. Wrist pins were checked, and then we put new rings on it. And like I said earlier, I can't stress enough about how the importance of keeping everything absolutely clean. That counter and everything around it was just spotless before we started assembly. And here, that's what we're doing. We're getting the mains ready. Yeah, good picture of the lathe there. Oops. I didn't know they got worked in there, but whatever. Oh, of course, right now we're you know, cleaning up the mains. We're making sure that the bearings fit properly, that they're properly lubed and ready for the crank. And we did everything 2 and 3 times because that's just how we do things. We want to make sure everything is right, and we only have to do it once. So, you know, our inspection, our cleaning, our checking, and pre-assembly and stuff like that, we're just constantly moving through that. And no, Kris is not giving it the ugga-duggas. He's barely even touching that that trigger. It's just enough to set it down. And I mean, you know, friends are friends, but do you have a friend that'll help you lube your crank? I mean, he's holding my crank and we're lubing it together, so yeah, that's a good friend right there. And there we got the crank already ready in the block. We haven't quite torqued down the mains yet or nothing. Everything is just getting kind of put back together at the moment. And we forgot to actually get photos and video of reinstalling the pistons and checking the rings and everything else like that, because hey, we were busy doing it. So we'll just move on. Now I'm putting on the timing. The cam has already been put back in. The bearings have been changed. And for some reason here, and I believe it's the next photo, I don't know if it's an oh look a squirrel moment or whatever, but I am in some sort of deep thought right there, and I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, well, she's ready, and we're gonna start putting the covers back on and getting her get her ready to put back in. Oh, and again, while we're doing this, what you're not seeing, because like I said, we didn't keep the video on. Now it's in the back in the trike, but continually wiping things down, continually spraying them off, making sure everything is absolutely clean. And this was no exception when we were putting them back together. Now we're starting to put the heads back on, and the real fun's about to begin. Those heads look fantastic, don't they? Shout out to NCP for doing those for me like over a year ago. I just now used them. Here I'm setting the valve lash. It's fairly simple to do. It's just 3/4 of a turn on these. But I go back to my days of using solids and stuff like that in my head, going, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to do this again, and then realize I'm not using solids, I'm using hydraulics. So I don't have to. That made me feel a little bit better. But now we're just starting to get the accessories put back on and everything, get the timing set. And I mean, this thing is so beautiful anyway, but it just keeps looking better and better. Well, I guess one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to start and I'm going to enjoy the cigar, or it's not going to start and I'm going to drink a lot of bourbon. So there you have it. It started, it ran, but we didn't get to the 20-minute break-in period right away because of this.
Yep. When you forget to check something after you've checked it 5 times.
So yes, we had a mild snafu with forgetting to tighten the nut on the oil pressure sending unit, so it shot oil all over the place, and we had to clean it up before we could do the 20-minute break-in. But it's complete, it's running, and it looks fantastic as usual. Thank you all for joining us.